Imagine waking up tomorrow, but the simple act of opening your eyes takes twice as long. A blink, usually a fraction of a second, now stretches into a noticeable event. Your heart, the body's faithful drummer, now beats a slow, deliberate rhythm, each thump separated by an unnerving pause. This isn't just about walking or running. Every fidget, every breath, every muscle twitch is governed by a new, unyielding law. You have been permanently set to half speed. Your entire physiological existence is now tethered to a metronome clicking at half its former pace. But what does that even mean? From your perspective, is the world suddenly moving at double speed? The cars outside your window now zip past in a seamless blur. A bird taking flight appears to teleport from the ground to the sky. This is a personal crisis of relativity. Einstein showed that motion is relative to the observer. For you, the external world has accelerated into a frantic, chaotic rush. You are a fixed point of slowness in a universe that just got a massive speed upgrade, a living example of a distorted frame of reference. This new reality poses a terrifying biological question. Your body contains countless clocks, entirely separate from your perception. The suprachiasmatic nucleus in your hypothalamus, for example, dictates your 24-hour circadian rhythm. Does it slow down with you? If it doesn't, you would feel an entire day's worth of sleepiness after just 12 hours of being awake in the fast world. Or what about cell division? The Hayflick limit, which dictates how many times a cell can divide, might proceed at its normal rate. You would age biologically at a normal pace, but experience only half the life. We've all heard stories of time slowing down during emergencies, a phenomenon called tachypsychia. It's the brain entering overdrive to process information. But for you, the opposite would occur. A falling glass wouldn't gracefully descend, giving you time to react. It would simply be on the table one moment and shattered on the floor the next. There would be no perception of the fall itself. A car swerving towards you wouldn't be a slow-motion horror. It would be an instantaneous event your half-speed brain couldn't possibly process in time to send the signal to your half-speed muscles. The very act of communication would break down. A normal conversation would sound like a recording played at double speed. The subtle intonations, pauses, and emotional cues that give language its meaning would be lost in a high-pitched wash of incomprehensible sound. Trying to speak would be equally frustrating. Your thoughts might form at the old speed, but your tongue, lips, and vocal cords can only move at half that rate. By the time you finished a sentence, the conversation would have moved on, leaving you in a state of permanent social lag. But would your thoughts remain fast? A nerve impulse travels along an axon at speeds up to 120 meters per second, a result of rapid ion exchange. If this fundamental biological process were also halved, the consequences would be catastrophic. The act of recognizing a face involves a complex cascade of neural signals. At half speed, you might see a friend, but the feeling of recognition, the retrieval of their name, could take seconds to arrive. Your inner world, your very consciousness, would become a sluggish, buffered stream. Society is built on an assumed tempo of action. How could you hold a job? A surgeon's hands moving at half speed would be unthinkable. A programmer writing code at half the words per minute would be unemployable. Even creative jobs would suffer. Your ability to iterate, to sketch, to brainstorm would be fundamentally throttled. You would become a singularity of inefficiency, an economic outlier in a world that values speed above almost all else. You would be living on a different economic timescale. But here's the strangest part. After a year, 5 years, a decade, would it still feel slow? Your brain is a master of recalibration. Through a process called neural adaptation, it constantly adjusts your perception to match your reality. The hum of a refrigerator fades into the background. The feeling of clothes on your skin disappears. Your memory of fast would slowly degrade, replaced by a lifetime of normal being this deliberate pace. The torment of being slow would eventually just become the feeling of being. This new baseline could unlock a different kind of perception. While the world rushes past, you would have the capacity to notice things no one else does. The subtle, slow curling of a leaf as it dehydrates. The almost imperceptible shift of shadows as the earth rotates. The intricate dance of dust motes in a sunbeam. You would trade macro-level interaction for a micro-level appreciation of the universe's quiet, constant change. Your reality would be less eventful, but perhaps infinitely more detailed. Ultimately, your speed of movement is the tempo of your consciousness. It's the rhythm section for the music of your existence. To change that tempo is not just to slow you down, it's to change the entire composition. You wouldn't be a slower version of your old self. The way you think, feel, perceive, and relate to the universe would be so fundamentally altered that you would, in essence, be a completely different person, living in a reality tuned to a different frequency. Monotony has grown fast. Nearly 2,700 people have watched in the last few weeks, yet less than 0.03% are subscribed. It would mean a lot if you joined by hitting subscribe. And again, thanks for watching.